Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the FTD Virtual Design Show titled Body Flowers, The Finishing Touch, featuring FTD Education Consultant Ann Jordan, AIFD. This design show series is a way to keep us all connected, be inspired, and share knowledge and solutions to solve problems. We are excited to welcome Ann live today as she explores accent designs for the body beyond the corsage. Learn tips, tricks, and trends to not only inspire, but help capture more sales with beautiful floral finishing touches to set you apart from your competition. Once Ann is finished with her presentation, we will open up the session for questions. If you have a question, simply type it in the chat box in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to submit your questions during the presentation, and this session will be recorded for future viewing. So let's get started, everyone. Welcome, Ann.
Hey, Janet. How are you? Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. This is, I don't know, maybe my 6th or 7th program I've done virtually. And so we're getting used to it. It's really amazing that I'm looking at my iPhone right now and connecting with everybody. And so in Janet's opening, the one word that I really hope that I'm going to be able to express with you today is to be unique. We're paid to be creative people. And so I think with this category of body flowers, I remember hearing a designer on stage once say, make sure that all of your pieces are different than anybody else's. Every single one of them. Don't make anything the same. I don't know that I always believe with that, because I do believe in being creative once and mass producing. But I also believe that I can have some one-of-a-kind items. Now, when Janet approached me about doing this and body flowers, I really think in the terms of jewelry. And so I want to show you a few things that I think are very unique and can set you apart from anybody else. All right, so body flowers, some things that you're going to have on hand. Now, some of this you might not absolutely need, but it's the stuff that I use because I'm a crafter. I will craft. It's a pandemic. I'm a creative person. I have to be busy. And so I've been doing a lot of crafting in this past year. So these are the glues that I keep on hand that I use. I use fabric to fabric. I use liquid stitch, something you can get at Walmart. And I like Gorilla Glue for metal to metal or metal to glass. And then sometimes for just lightweight stuff, the craft glue, the simple craft glue. Now, flowers. The only thing I'll use that'll touch my flowers for a glue is Oasis floral adhesive. And the reason why I use some of these other things instead is because they dry clear. And so if I get a little bit messy, you're not always going to see it. But if it touches a flower, it's absolutely going to be the glue. The other thing I use to attach and to bind, sometimes just needle and thread. I need that, and I'll show you some reasons why. Binding agents, great new wires from Smithers Oasis. And so these are some samples of some pretty bind wires. And then one of my favorites is bullion. I love the bullion wire. They're not selling all the different colors anymore, just the gold and the silver. And so if you happen to have other colors, cherish it. Now, another binding thing that I use, this little yogurt jar, is full of these nice fine wires from cutting off some of the little jeweled pieces that you can get from Fitz Design. And sometimes you just want to grab a little piece of wire, and this is decorative. And so there it is. I use these all the time. And so those are the binding things that you might have. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out and invest in any of these things. If you have this glue, you can do all those things with that. I know if I step forward, my head's going to get chopped off, but I'm sorry if that happens. The tools you're going to need would be your utility scissors. You're going to need ribbon scissors, and I always mark mine with a piece of ribbon so people know not to cut wire with that. Of course, your knife, and I love this nice clean cut from this. This is the bunch cutters, and they're from Oasis. And then the wire cutters that I use are the long needle nose. I use these for jewelry. and then also the rounded ones. And this has a little bit of a wire cutter there. That's all that I absolutely need for this. The other thing you're absolutely going to want to have is something like a finishing touch. A lot of people use maybe Crown and Glory, same thing. Use Crown and Glory, make sure you get the clear. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about that and its application. Another binding thing I use, I love chenille. And I always get chenille in a color that if it still shows, it's still pretty. So here I have the silver and the gold in chenille. And this is a product from FTD Design. They were very generous and sent me some fun things. And so, so this category of body flowers, we are doing weddings. They might be a little bit smaller, and I really can't speak to that because the demographics of what's happening state to state is totally different. I'm in Florida now. You are seeing some weddings. Maybe they're not as large as they were, and some states aren't really doing much of anything. We heard about Texas being wide open. Florida certainly is too. And so we're doing maybe smaller weddings. And so I'm going to feature mostly things that may be appropriate for weddings because prom, not really sure about that. Here, there are some counties in Florida that are going to have prom. And so we'll see. But I know that prom as a whole across the United States probably is not going to happen this year. And so that's something you can find out from your school. Now, Dan from FTD Design, Dan Fisher, he is very generous to anything educational. And so he sent me a beautiful big package of things to use. And one of these wristbands, he said, make sure you show this one because it's called Angeline or Angeline. And it already has all this bead work done on it. It's very economical. It's a lovely little bracelet. Now, what I've noticed from this, after I opened it, I did have to push the beads right and left in order to have them still show after I had my flowers added onto that. So when you get it, you want to make sure you push this right and left, north, south, however you want to say it. And then your designed piece is going to be, you're going to be more vertical and long than wide and round because you wouldn't see the beads on either side otherwise. So it's the snap bracelet. And so look how pretty that would be once it's around your wrist. Very pretty. Okay, colors of the year from Pantone, we know that they're gray and yellow. I'm hoping gray goes away, but it's here to stay, I suppose. And so here's one of my little clutch purses. And I get a lot of purses like this at vintage shops. And this is another way that I can be unique. And so this is one of my favorite purses. And if you're buying vintage purses at vintage shops or antique shops, I always make sure they pass the smell test. That I'm not a smoker, so I can tell if there's smoke. I can tell if there's an animal smell or a musty or a moldy smell. I buy these and I disinfect them. And this one, I paid $2 for this darling little purse. When you're doing this, you want to remember that cell phones are pretty large now, and they have to be large enough to hold a cell phone, because basically for an evening bag, all we're going to really have in there is maybe some tissue, your cell phone, and some lipstick, right? Okay. Now, another matching yellow and gray is a little toned down. So the beautiful Cymbidium orchids, and I'm going to reach out so you can see that. And this bracelet is elastic and it just snaps on like that. The ribbon that I chose to use, and I don't know how you feel about ribbon, but I don't mind using great big wide ribbon like this. I think we would call this maybe a 16. And this is the raw silk. It's called Nandini. It's in the FTD catalog and it's from Lion Ribbon. It's raw silk, and I've had so much fun with this ribbon. And I would rather have just a little bit, maybe 1.5 yards of this, than a whole great big bunch of economical and inexpensive ribbon. I like nice things. Look at how that satin just looks so beautiful in that sweet wristlet. Now, this is that bracelet, my yogurt container again, that bracelet just wrapped around a little yogurt container. I know it's body flowers, but I had the little stuff left on my bench when I was done with this vignette, and I'm just in the habit of using things up. So there goes the bracelet on my yogurt jar with a little bit of stuff that was left on my bench. Now I want to talk to you about gluing. I hadn't glued for a while, and then I started working with Dan and the team at Fitz Design, and I learned a lot about gluing. So this is just a basic bracelet. This happens to be like a claw style bracelet because I'm going to put this in a bun on my hair after. And so gluing, I want you to know a few things, because when Pete Samick and I teach boot camp at FTD headquarters, so many people are still not gluing. And I always ask them why, and they said they had not had success. And so let me give you the top reasons why you might not be having success with a floral adhesive. Number one is your flowers have to be at room temperature. So if you know you're doing this type of work, get your flowers out the night before. They're going to be at room temperature when you come to work in the morning, and then you can start to use your flowers. Also, you're putting them into the cooler too soon. After you're done making your design and it's going to go into the cooler, it needs to set out and cure. That glue has to cure and dry at its own time. So 20 minutes to 45 minutes. I had things, my kitchen's right there. I had things all over that kitchen this morning, and I put them in the refrigerator, up some of them over an hour later. And because I use this finishing touch, the flowers just were beautiful when I took them finally out of the refrigerator. The other thing is, I want you to notice how I always keep the lid right in the jar, because that's the thing that we're always losing, is the lid to the glue, right? So many flower shops you go in and they have a corsage pin, and I think that's going to keep that glue going. So what I want you to remember about this is, when you are adding the glue, this is very, very important, you're going to make sure you seal the end of that stem so it's not going to dehydrate. And I'm going to take these, I'm sealing the end of that stem, putting a little glue around it. I love cymbidiums, man, they just hold up so well, right? And then that needs to become tacky. So the glue needs to become tacky. Okay. Now, the other trick is, I've learned that particularly with things that are on the heavier side, tacky glue to tacky glue. Now, if you can see within the center of this, I have that chenille just twisted, giving me a platform to glue onto. I also find that if I touch it with the flower, I pull it away, so there's glue where I want it to go. Now I'm just going to wait a second or two, and then I'm going to go back in and adhere that cymbidium. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There's plenty of glue on there. It's already setting up. It's already getting tacky. I'm going to go in, touch it. There's glue there now for me. And in I go with the other cymbidium. Same thing with the leaves. Go in and just tap it. There's enough glue on there for that little bud to stay. Tap it. Pull it away, there's glue there, I can see it, and in goes the other bud. And so this is designed with that clasp. I had my hair in a French, what do you call it, twist, and I had this clamped right to my hair. So this could be for the wrist, but it also could be a really nice jewelry piece for the hair. And let's see, so the matching boutonniere is a piece of this plastic that a lot of the Fitz Design jewelry pieces come on. And I save a few of these, and I've simply wrapped it with some of the grosgrain ribbon from lion ribbon. And that grosgrain ribbon is made out of recycled water bottles. I think that's a wonderful feature for this cutie. And so there's the boutonniere is on the magnet. And Here I'm repeating my circle shapes with a crespidea. I have some little gems in there and brunia, and repeating the circle shape. And so I like making these, and there's so many different ways you can think about using this. So if you like that idea, here's some other ones that I made just because I had these things. And so here's a little boutonniere, has a butterfly in it. This ribbon looks like birch, and that's from lion ribbon. So that's a little bit more natural. And then this one, hope you can see these. So this one has some decoupage. Actually, this is on cardboard. I think that's probably where that piece of cardboard came from, pretty sure of it. So I decoupaged this tissue on there because I didn't know if I could or not. This tissue is also available in the FTD catalog, and it's from lion ribbon. I love, 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 love this tissue. So I just decoupaged, took me seconds to do that. I added the cork, some gems, and some sweet little roses. You can take this category anywhere if you like the idea of it. And so here's one, has a little nest and a feather. I'm sorry, my head's getting chopped off, but the items are more important, right? And so there's a nest and a feather. And then this one has the river of diamonds. You can see, I've only had one more of these. So some of these don't have magnets. It's because I only had one more, but you can see the magnet fits beautifully on the back. There's the rose gold. And this has been on my counter. I sprayed it with the finishing touch, and I got to tell you, it's been on the counter all day. I made this probably first thing this morning. And so that is a little look and some tips and techniques. All right, so I like being one of a kind. I do like to have things that are unusual. And so I'm a big thrift shopper. And so I found this really cute, just a chain bracelet right here. There you go. And so it's a chain bracelet, and you can see how this goes on the wrist, just like that, through the chain. And then you have this nice little pendulous design. And it also came with earrings. And so there's the earring design. And I can take pictures of all this stuff, and so you can see them up close, because this is not ideal, I know it. And so just some fun things and unusual things. And I do love the one-of-a-kind idea. I saw, Janet, you'll have to help me. I think there was a question and I went away before I could read it. Or are we going to read those at the end, probably?
I can ask you that now if you want. Which adhesive did you use to attach the magnet strip to back of the boutonniere?
You can use, see, I told you about the lids to make sure you have a few extras because I didn't have that on there. You can use your Oasis floral adhesive for anything. But for me, because I have a lot of glue and I like using different glues, and I told you before, it's usually because sometimes I can get a little messy, a little sloppy. I like the clear if it's hard goods to hard goods, if that makes sense. I'll use the Gorilla Glue, but you don't have to invest in any other glue other than the floral adhesive. Let's see. So the purse also, I wanted to take note that if you can see, it's the same bracelet. I took the metal out of it that makes the slap, and it was the perfect size to go right across. And so that matched my vignette just perfectly. All right, so let's go in another direction, thinking about weddings. And so I'm here by the seashore in Florida, and I can hear the waves right now, as a matter of fact. And so I wanted to do a little country wedding for you. And so I don't know, well, I'm at the age where I would be aware of something like arthritis medicine. And who is selling arthritis medicine is Paula Abdul. Could she be cuter? So I'm watching her in this commercial selling arthritis medicine, and she has this cutest little collar on, just a bolero jacket, and this collar, it's just a floating collar with a tank top. And I said, oh my gosh, I've got to make that and put flowers all over it. And so I went to find a shirt similar to that, and I didn't find it, but I did find a shirt that was denim. And so you can see what I've done here is I've just cut the collar off the shirt and made a sweet little, it has seashells. This is all done in permanent botanical material, which I think is great to showcase your work. Don't be afraid to do that. And so there's the little collar. I actually had this on the other day and it was so cute. And it's kind of a country style item. The headband that would match it, this really pretty headband. You love it. I love it too. This headband, I covered it with the buttons where the buttons would go down. You can see that. And this is Lady Fair. Fitz Design bought Lady Fair. And so you can get this from Fitz Design. So there's a little headband to match my Paula Abdul inspired collar. Let's see. Here I have a ring. I'm following, I cut that shirt up, every little bit of it. You can see there's a button there. I hope you can anyway. So there's the little ring from Fitz Design. They're elastic, so it's one size fits all. Fits my little theme so perfectly. I took the, this shirt, I gotta tell you, I cut up the whole thing. So here's the pocket to the shirt. And I just thought I was gonna show you a pocket square, but instead I put the Fitz magnet. Oh, my head's gone again. Sorry about that. There it is. So there's the little corsage. So darn cute. I had this on my denim jacket. Darling, darling, darling. So for my boutonniere, here's the matching boutonniere. And there's that strip from the denim shirt. See the button down there. And in order to give this the stiffness that it needed, I used a layer of the mesh, the Oasis mesh, and it gave it nice stiffness. And so there's a corsage or a boutonniere for this collection. Oh, this is my favorite piece. I thought I was gonna love the collar the best, but then I made this. So I took the cuff off. So here's the cuff. This shirt was like $3. There's the cuff, and wait till you see how stinking cute. Now, I'm a florist, so you know if I'm a florist, I'm not a hand model because our hands look like you know what. And so let me put this on so you can see how cute this is. Here, it goes with my collar. So look at that, down the hand, I just buttoned it back on, and look at that sweet little wristlet. Yeah, so I got a lot of work out of this, didn't I? And up the side of that cuff would be this, right? Would be up the shirt. And so I had this and I was trying to get it to work here and I couldn't love it. And so I just cut it off, added a magnet, and there's a darling little denim boutonniere. And, you know, I think so many times these things, we can use the scraps. See that box of stuff you have under your design bench or in a room, that stuff you think you're going to use up later. All of this could be made out of those scraps. So for the, this is necessary body flowers, but it is for the ring bearer. So here's a pretty seashell, just little scraps and some shells, and the little ring would maybe dangle from there. And that's my idea for this Nantucket inspired wedding. The pocket, the other pocket from the other side of the shirt, I made a little basket out of the pocket. I wove or braided, I guess I should say, the raffia, and made a cute little flower girl pocket. Now, Dan sent me these, which I had never worked with these before. So like the slap bracelet, it's a slap wrap for a bouquet handle. So since he sent it to me, I thought I'd show you what I did with it. And so everybody's going to have these things. So for me, I know I have to stand out in the crowd above and beyond anybody. So I took the other side of that shirt cuff and I wrapped it around the wrap. I had already wrapped this with, probably looks like the tail of the shirt. And then I made this nice chain with denim and ribbon and whatever else I could find to pin there. And so I really, really love this wrap. And I thought maybe it would be loose. I'd have to add a little glue. I did not. It's nice and snug. And I have another, let's see. I have I have another program coming up soon. And so I was playing around with some of this stuff. So you can see this really pretty wrap for another program I've got coming up. And this is just so cool, goes right around it. Think of how much time we spend adding the ribbon and all the details when that's already done for you, and you just add your personal style to it. So you're one of a kind still. So what do you think of my little Nantucket wedding, all made out of one denim shirt, inspired by Paula Abdul, of all things. All right, so let's get colorful now. Oh, I have one more thing. Where'd it go? Huh. I've lost it. Anyway, okay. Oh, a favorite bracelet. I got to show you. There's two styles of it. I found one from Fitz and one from Lion. This, I don't know what this is made out of because it's not metal. See how it gives like that? I adore this bracelet. It's so pretty on. I usually wear it this way. How sweet is that? But you really need to secure these design discs down with the chenille. I always have chenille handy, and now it's nice and tight and snug. The same material, this one happens to be from Smithers Oasis. This bracelet, so darling. Look at the detail on that. But it's not metal. It's some type of plastic, some type of PVC maybe. Love, love, love these great bracelets. Make sure that you tie the disc down, and then let's make sure that it's not going to wobble by adding that little bit of chenille. And so here's how that bracelet came out in some brighter colors. And the beads are wonderful. They're lovely. This one happens to be from Lion Ribbon in that cobalt blue. And so it's really striking. I can see that a lot of the girls love these bright, vivid colors. I know that I do. I'm ready for it, right? We've been through enough. It's time to bring some color into our lives. Now, I'm really not much on using a thin ribbon for my body flower work. I really like to use a number 9, and I really like to use tulle. And the reason why is because glue is really going to adhere to tulle. So keep that in mind. I know I had 2 of these. And so, I got to show you this first. Got to go in sequence. Okay, so here's the matching boutonniere. And again, I took the plastic from a piece that, the packaging. And this time I wrapped it in washi tape. You can get this washi tape at craft stores. And I wrapped that in the washi tape. And then I used this really clever boutonniere holder, again with a magnet, and made the boutonniere to match. Then to show you my ring, yeah, here's the ring. So I also made a ring to match that one size fits all, wonderful ring. And really, really cute and clever. I'm probably going too fast and not settling down, but sorry about that. So here's what I did to adhere that. I took the washi tape, comes like this, you get it at a craft store. And then I just banded it all around that design disc to give me something to glue on to make this really pretty little gem. I love this category. It's so much fun. So here's the headband, another headband. And the way I designed this, I put the washi tape on this as well. And the way I designed this is it could be worn at the top of the head like a traditional headband. And it can also be worn on the back of the head. And so giving yourself a little bit more ways to use it. And I'm a big fan of premium flowers. And so I almost always offer things like cymbidiums, dendrobiums. I like cymbidiums better. I think they hold up a little bit better. And the spray roses always hold up well. But my favorite is to add fragrance to everything that I do. It's part of my signature. And so here are some hyacinth blooms. People can never guess what that bloom is once it's taken and plucked off a stem. And so there's a sweet little headband. The corsage that I made for this could also go on my shoe. It could also, I had it on the side of a cowboy boot, and it also went through my denim jacket because of this wonderful magnet. They come in a thing like this. This is a tin container, and you can hear it just sticking right there. And so for this one, to get this gem to hang down like that. It's a bracelet. It's called Sophisticated Lady. And I just looped it, glued it, twisted it down so it would stay. And then I used that design disc to add all these wonderful, wonderful colors and keep it nice, bright, and vivid. But I like that, just a little dangle of some jewelry down below. These are so economical. This is one of my favorite purses. I use this all the time. I'll use this purse for any reason at all. I love this purse, but my cell phone still fits in that. And so whip up some things like this. If you can find great purses, I don't think I've ever paid more than $3 for a great vintage purse. And so you can make some money on these things. And don't be afraid to show things in permanent botanical material, because it gets the idea, if people have the cute purses at home, that they can bring them to you and have some wonderful treatments like that done. I love the category of flowers in my hair. I'm not always personally a fan of wearing them here, but I love them on my cowboy boots. I like them on my belt. I love them in my hair. And with hair like this, you can only imagine, right? And so I found this, I always like the shortcuts. So for me, it's to start with something that's already darn cute. This is a necklace that I found for $1 somewhere, who knows where. And then what I did, my mechanics here, you can see on the back, I used about 1/4 of a stem of the chenille. And from the chenille, I twisted it and I could glue right into that. I was going to cut the rest of the chains on, but instead, I'm including some bobby pins, and how we're wearing our hairstyle like a messy updo. This can clip right into the back of the hair, right along a French twist, or wherever they want it in that messy do. And so start with something that's already existing and then make it a fabulous jeweled piece like this one. So pretty. And it was still, I know I added the dangles, but it would still be pretty as a choker as well. Let's see. I have this set. I just adore this set. And so let's see, I don't know where to start. Let's see, I'll start with the mask. So I found this jeweled mask. It's sequined, I guess, sequined mask, I think at a Marshall's. And I thought it would be pretty for this black set. Here I'm using the Bloodstone Cymbidium orchid. It's really a beautiful little orchid, and they hold up so well. And I've accented it with the Wandering Jew. It was wonderful, wonderful companion to that. It just blended so beautifully. And so here I can show you how that Wandering Jew worked in, almost sounds like something you shouldn't say, but let's see, I gotta find how to get this out. Oh yeah, here it is in a boutonniere, the red rose, and that's the red that I like. I don't like an orange red. I want this particular red. And sadly, the roses didn't come with any indication of the variety. And so I would really want to make sure that I knew what that was. But the Wandering Jew, you can see how pretty that looks with that. It's hard to do these tiny things this way, but this is the way the knowledge gets out. Now, this is a hair clip. And so this could go on a shoe. This could go, it could clip on as a corsage. It could go in the hair. But my thought for this is I wanted something for a beard, because we're seeing so many gentlemen sporting these fantastical beards, and it could go clip right into a beard. All kinds of different applications. This is a really strong clip. And so it was great. It was really great on my shoe. That was my favorite. But let's see. I found this wonderful choker, and it really fit a purse that I already had so beautifully. Look at the beads are even the same. So I was just lucky when I found this choker. And so there's the purse and the choker, and I like it nice and Barbara Streisand tight like that. Let's see. So then I love the one-of-a-kind ideas. And so here, like the other necklace, I had the matching bracelet. The bracelet and the necklace cost $1. And so I had these little roses left. So I said, why not make something for the hair? Again, including the bobby pins. So this can go right in the hair, right around a messy updo. Here's the pocket square. And so this is the plastic from the wrap. Have the flutter feathers. They're wonderful to use. And then this goes right in the pocket, and just the roses all face forward. You clip them down nice and short, and you can get that look that way. Now, I work in a vintage shop in the summertime, and I buy lots of jewelry because I'm going to remake it to sell it again. And so this is very much like some of the pieces that I do. And so if you can see this, it's vintage jewelry and a vintage brooch with the fresh flowers. And when I can find chains like this, you would think, you know, that's so 80s, right? But what I do is I weave ribbon through that, and then I connect it to other chains, and I make these wonderful pieces like this. And then this would be something, I have a lobster claw on either side of it that I can hook it right to my, my belt loops and wear it this way. And it also makes a wonderful vintage choker. And you find a lot of things like this on Pinterest, where people are wearing this beautiful gypsy jewelry. And so I think this is a piece that I would definitely wear, but I like the idea of wearing it kind of as a belt. That would be really cool, I think. So fun pieces. So that's the kind of stuff I like for my brand, for me. I want to have people come in and say, what's she up to? What is she doing? And that they're always surprised by some of the things that I might do. Let's see, how am I doing on time? All right, real quick, because I know I've gone over. So I'll finish this last step real quickly. And so this is the cuff. This is the cuff. It's called, from Fitz Design, this one is called Athena, I think. Athena flower cuff. And what I've done is I've just opened it up so it fits the back of the head really beautifully. You could add some netting if you wanted to, some tulle for a veil. And then I've taken the chenille and just twisted in these various places. Then I went back and added another ribbon, and then these beautiful flowers, cymbidiums, my signature fragrant flowers with a hyacinth, and some nice pearly beads. And so that this bracelet is the one that really works well for the upper arm. And so a lot of kids love that idea too, if you're doing prom. But this is wonderful work for weddings on the top of the head or to the back of the head. So I hope you like that. That's one of my favorite things too. Let's see, this I adored. And you know, sometimes you start doing something and you wonder, like, am I even gonna like that when you're done? And so what I did with this, if you can see in the center, is I took two bracelets. I took a beaded bracelet and then another bracelet. Let's see, one of them's Sophisticated Lady. I have them right here, Sophisticated Lady, and then Double Bubble, I think that one is. And I just took them and I tied them in a knot. And then I said, okay, all right, what are you gonna do with that? Where are you going with that? Well, I took one hyacinth stem that was all in full bloom, and I just clustered that all around. And it looks almost like it's sitting in the middle of a beautiful hydrangea when it's really just one stem of a flower that's gonna hold up super well for you. And then I put it on the Double Bubble. And I really like it. You know what? It's heavy, but it's okay, because what did they say in Jurassic Park? Is it heavy? It's expensive. Put it down, right? So it's substantial and it's really lovely. Fast to make too, so fast to make. And I love that things that are fast. Let's see, carnations. I love carnations myself, and but I'm kind of particular about them. The carnations that I like are these vintage ones. And so these are a little bit lavender pink. I got the amber jewels from Lion Ribbon. They were so nice to send me some things. And so this is on a beaded bracelet from Lion Ribbon. And this is something that you could put, I wear a lot of pashminas. I wear a lot of scarves. And so this is one of my favorite lace scarves that I wear quite frequently. So here I am just decorating that in a very vintage look. Good signature for me. Let's see. Oh, I adore this. This is fun to do too. So this is a bracelet from Smithers Oasis. It is called the Filigree Cuff. It happens to be in rose gold. I took it apart and flattened it, totally flat, and added a magnet. And then I used that beautiful, beautiful raw silk ribbon, just a couple of loops. It's nice and wide and lovely, and added the orchids for that. I have this. Here's the other boutonniere holder from Fitz Design. You see the magnet, how strong that magnet is, really strong. It can go through even leather. And so this is just a stack of the hyacinths. And I just stick a pin right through all three and glued them in there. And so it's really fast and really kind of dynamic, I think. That same bracelet, I just wove the ribbon through, see how pretty that is. And that hangs with the hyacinths and the little beads right in the center. It looks like a brand new flower again. Very, very sweet. And it just looks great to just hang off the cuff like that. Quickly, because I know I'm over. This is a purse that I had, and I cut up some ribbon. This took me 15 minutes to decoupage this on here to make it my own. Added these yummy, gorgeous, beautiful roses and some vintage trim. And so that completes my vintage look. And so I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine posted something she had made, and it was called a sash, and she had made it for a baby reveal party. And I thought, oh, that is such a clever idea. I want to try that. And so I use this as a base, and I use this for a lot of halos too. Same thing, but this is bigger. So this is what I'm going to call the sash. So I know there's gender neutrality now, but if somebody comes in and says they want something for a baby reveal, can you imagine this from mom? And this is how they would wear it, like that. And here's mom's baby, and then there's her beautiful stash. There's some beads coming down the side. It's all glued in. This didn't take that long. I based it out with some nice ribbon roses first, and then the beads. I think there's 4 carnations and 3 roses, and then all that beautiful ribbon. And I was holding it this way too, so it'd be pretty if you wanted to carry it as a nice long piece like that too. It looked pretty like that. And so I like the idea of something new, and I had never heard of the baby sash. And so there is my first baby sash I've ever made. So let's see. I know I'm over, and so I couldn't read if there are any more questions, but if there are, I would love to know.
Wow, Anne, thank you for sharing your talent and inspiring all of us. Your creativity is amazing. I am just blown away in the comments that everybody was making too. Just awesome.
Thank you. It's so much fun to do what we do, isn't it?
I would say you have had a lot of fun there for sure.
Yeah.
We are open for questions. I do have a couple, but if anybody has any other questions, just type it in the chat box. And then Michelle wants to know what company makes the boutonniere holder.
That's Fitz Design. There's 2 styles. There's the filigree, and there's the other one that's called, I believe, the Calla.
Okay, great.
Now remember, Fitz Design, you can buy from Fitz directly, or you can buy from the wholesale house. It's always, I found, more economical to buy it through your wholesale house, and that's Dan's plan. he really wants you in supporting your local wholesaler. So can you buy from Dan directly at Fitz? Yes, you can. But if you're looking for really good buys, go to your local wholesaler.
Nice. Do you have suggestions for an in-store display?
Yes, of course I do. I had a mannequin, and you can find used mannequins. And I would dress the mannequins in something that would be really catching, like a beautiful gown with maybe a denim jacket over it. And then I'd put all these pretty ideas for boutonnieres all over the denim jacket. And so do things that are eye-catching, but not normal. You want to make sure that you're catching everybody's attention by being unique, as I said in my opening. And so I have done so many displays for this.
Oh, looks like we lost Ann there for a minute. All right, well, guys, if we can hang on for a second, let's see if we can get Ann back. It looks like her internet must have disconnected for a minute here. Oh, there she's back. Ann?
Yeah.
Okay, we lost you. You froze for a minute.
Oh, sorry about that.
So all right, you're back. We did have another question. Do you have a Facebook page where they can follow you with all of your creativity?
No, as a matter of fact, I do not. I'm not in retail any longer. And so I do not. I'm thinking about the antique shop that I work at, that I would do something from there, because at the antique shop, he just lets me do whatever I want. And I just create all day, every day. And my favorite thing is making these really cool jeweled necklaces and brooches, all kinds of things, Christmas trees out of vintage jewelry. I buy huge lots of vintage, and I sell so much of that stuff. So if I do it, I'll post it on Facebook, my Facebook page, that I have something else going on, because it's tons of fun. And so remember, we're paid to be creative. And so any day you go in, our customers are expecting something from us, because our product is everywhere. So unless we're doing something, it's really going to inspire them to buy and inspire the younger generation to really appreciate what we do. So here I showed you 5 different vignettes with 5 different total feelings. And so you're going to capture an interest from somebody. I had one cool necklace. I was hoping to get it done for you, but I kind of wanted a steampunk look, because that was the direction I was going in. And I couldn't find all the pieces that I wanted to pull that off. But, I really think creativity is what's expected of us. And so be real profound in that, in creating.
All right, thanks, Ann. It looks like that's out all the questions. Just lots of great positive comments about the vintage denim looks. I mean, that was a shirt. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's fun.
So just want to thank everyone for attending today's virtual design show. A recording will be available on demand on the FTD Mercury Network Florist YouTube channel. And will also, I know I put this in the chat, but she will be taking close-up photos of all her pieces. So we'll have that available on our website on FTDI as well. So you can take a look at more close-up pictures and watch the recording again. And then just want to share that our next FTD Virtual Design Show is scheduled for Wednesday, April 7th. FTD Education Consultant Randy Wooten, AIFD, will be taking a fresh look at sympathy designs, sharing tips to help us inspire our own creations, as well as information on how to make simple tweaks to elevate designs that honor special people in our customers' lives. So just thank you, everyone, for joining us again today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.